To impeach or not to impeach? That is the question Democratic leaders in Congress have been putting off for more than a year now.
Have you advised Democrats not to dwell on the prospect of impeachment?
Look, I'm going to wait for the Mueller report. We have to see what the Mueller report says, I think, before making any conclusion.
Impeachment is a divisive issue in our country. And let us see what the facts are, what the law is, and what the behavior is of the president.
Well, the Mueller report is now in, and while it does clear Trump and his team of criminally conspiring with Russia, it does not exonerate the president on obstruction of justice. Instead, in the report, Special Counsel Mueller explained, with respect to whether the president can be found to have obstructed justice by exercising his powers under Article 2 of the Constitution, we concluded that Congress has the authority to prohibit a president's corrupt use of his authority in order to protect the integrity of the administration of justice. In other words, that's for Capitol Hill to decide. And a couple of the senators running for president are ready to make that call. Here's both Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris.
If any other human being in this country had done what's documented in the Mueller report, they would be arrested and put in jail.
I believe Congress should take the steps towards impeachment.
But not all Democrats are on board, including the woman with the power, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. In a letter she sent to her House colleagues, she warned against a rush to judgment. So, is it time for Democrats to take a stand? Joining me are Democratic Congressman Stephen Lynch. He's the chair of the National Security Subcommittee, the House Oversight and Reform. Good to see you, Congressman.
Good, Jim.
Ben Clements is the chair of the group Free Speech for People and the co-author of The Constitution Demands It, the case for impeachment of Donald Trump. Ben, it's good to see you, too.
You too, Jim.
So, Congressman, you're with the Speaker on this issue. What's the case against initiating impeachment proceedings?
Well, we are right now trying to get more information. We want an unredacted Mueller report. So my position is keep impeachment on the table, but not yet. We are, right now, we have subpoenas to several different individuals. We're trying to get documents from Mazar USA, Donald Trump's accountant. So here's our problem. If we go before a federal judge and we have already filed articles of impeachment, I think it weakens our argument that we need more evidence, right? I think they will argue, well, you've already initiated impeachment articles against the president. You must have enough to sustain impeachment. And I just think that undermines our argument.
But if I may,
evidence.
It sounds to me like you're trying to say that it's a legal argument. From what I understand from Nancy Pelosi, it's really a political argument. There isn't support in the Senate to convict, even if the House were to impeach. So it is about politics, isn't it?
Partly, but you would like to have the facts on your side. Remember, we are judging not only this president, but other presidents.
But Jerry Nadler, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, has already said, after having received the redacted Mueller report, that the president, because of the Mueller report, he has concluded the president has obstructed justice. Do you agree with that?
There's a lot of evidence that he has. However, I would like to get all the evidence before we move forward.
What's the case for moving ahead, Ben?
Well, let me just be clear, Jim, that when we say moving ahead, at least when I say it, and when I think most people are advocating for impeachment hearings say it, they are not talking about voting out articles of impeachment tomorrow. They are talking about immediately initiating an impeachment inquiry, which means passing a resolution giving the Judiciary Committee of the House the authority to begin an impeachment investigation.
Why?
Well, let me turn, first of all, to this question the Congressman said about getting the unredacted Mueller report. The Republicans have said you can't have it unless you have an impeachment investigation. So, number one, it strengthens the hands of the House in getting that. But number two, you just heard on your video the Speaker and the Senate minority leader say we can't move forward with impeachment hearings until we have the Mueller report. We've got the Mueller report. We have 450 extremely damning, incriminating pages of evidence against Donald Trump. The Democrats do not have any more excuse to delay.
But what's the practical difference between what you're suggesting, a resolution being passed and then hearings, and what essentially I consider the judiciary, the oversight, and the intelligence? They're sort of informal impeachment hearings, just not following an impeachment resolution. Aren't they doing exactly what you want done, just maybe in the reverse direction, reverse order?
the order is significant, and what it's called is significant. Number one, for the reason I said, if it's an impeachment investigation, it is an investigation that would entitle them to get even grand jury information. But number two, the public is tired of these meandering investigations that have no particular purpose other than to allow members of Congress to put on a show for the public about what Donald Trump's done.
Public support for impeachment, even amongst Democrats, is dropping precipitously. You know that.
Public support for impeachment was at near 50% up till and after the Democrats retook the House. It has ticked down a bit as Nancy Pelosi has tamped down impeachment. It will go up very, very quickly if the House begins an impeachment investigation, just as it did in Richard Nixon's case.
Congressman, are you worried about, we talked about this on the radio today with Marjorie, about the precedent here? If it turns out that what Democrats seem to agree the president has done, the acts he has committed, even if they're not indictable, according to Attorney General Barr or Special Counsel Mueller, if the Democrats don't act, aren't they basically saying to future presidents, you can do whatever the hell you want, we'll just let the people decide whether or not you've crossed the line?
It creates a very high bar to obstruction of justice.
Does that worry you?
That's for sure. Absolutely, it does. Now, but you know, and just so we're clear, you know, my friend Al Green filed articles of impeachment back in May of 2017. When I marched with my wife and daughter, you know, in the Women's March, you know, several weeks after Donald Trump, you know, was inaugurated, I think we had enough votes right then for impeachment. You know, so
what are you saying?
We would like to have the law on our side and the evidence on our side. And look, I think if you have the substance and the facts of obstruction of justice, I think you have to go forward.
Well, how does that, but if Nadler said, and I saw him say it, literally maybe an hour, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, after the Mueller report, maybe a few hours, was delivered to the leaders in the House of Representatives, redacted only as relates to grand jury testimony. If he concluded already, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, that he's obstructed justice, yeah, but isn't he retreating because of Nancy Pelosi?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Look, he has joined us with requests. You know, his committee, Judiciary, has asked for evidence. Our committee, Oversight, Intelligence, Richie Neal's committee, we're all looking for more evidence. I think it does hurt us if and some members are saying, let's go to articles of impeachment. Let's be clear about that. Some of my members think that the fact that Donald Trump got elected at all is grounds for impeachment.
Your fellow Boston congressperson, Ayanna Pressley, has signed on to that impeachment resolution, too.
She has, right.
Yeah,
and look, I may join her at some point, but I want more evidence on
you're not
this.
saying never, you're just saying not now. You
Not
know,
yet.
some people
Not yet.
Sorry,
Can I just jump in on your concern about precedent? Because that is one of the biggest concerns. One is, Bernie Sanders was on TV last night saying this is the most dangerous president in modern history. Most people in Congress, most Democrats anyway, would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, but can we just stop there since you brought him up? That's not all Bernie Sanders did say. Let's hear the rest of what Sanders said, who is leading the Democratic pack. Here's the senator.
For the next year and a half, going right into the heart of the election, all that the Congress is talking about is impeaching Trump and Trump and Mueller. What I worry about is that works to Trump's advantage.
So he's not on board yet either.
He's not, but he struggled to come up with an answer, unlike Elizabeth Warren, who was crystal clear. This isn't a partisan issue. It's not a political issue. It is a matter of principle and constitutional requirement. But Bernie Sanders can't explain how he justifies the House leaving in place for another almost 2 years the most dangerous president in modern history. But the precedent that I'm concerned about and you're concerned about and the congressman's concerned about isn't just we'll have presidents in the future that think they can tell their staff to lie to investigators, that can obstruct justice. We have a president who has used the presidency to enrich himself against two provisions in the Constitution, the emoluments clauses. That is a horrible precedent. It is now, the only way you can deal with that is to wait 4 years and get them out of office in an election. That is a horribly dangerous precedent.
Congressman, a couple of your colleagues have talked about a censure resolution, too. It seems to me, I'm not advocating, I'm just asking, that I think the last time it was done with Jackson, I think I read in the 1830s or something like that. It seems to me that would accomplish some goals, because it just needs a majority. It's not binding, doesn't go to the Senate. You don't have to worry about Senate rejection. Yeah. Is that being considered at all?
It was discussed yesterday at length, yes. But
in this conference.
But members, a lot of members, and myself included, think it's rather weak in terms of if you substantiate all the things that we believe he has done, it would be a very weak.
You know, it seems to me that what you're saying between the lines is that what the message I'm taking away from Nancy Pelosi is the wrong one. I'm taking away that she's saying let the voters decide in November of 2020. You seem to be saying, is she there or is she where you are, which it seems to be. Well, you seem to be, let's build the case.
She wants these hearings to go forward. Now, and the danger here, let's put it right on the table. If we mishandle this, meaning the Democrats mishandle it, this gives Trump another 4 years. If impeachment becomes the proxy for this next election, so forget all the 22 candidates or however many there will be at that time. Forget it'll be all about the impeachment. And at the end of the day, when the Senate, if we don't get 20 Republicans to come on board with us, then Trump will spike the football, he will be exonerated, and it'll have a positive impact. It'll be to his advantage, as Bernie was saying, to his advantage for his reelection. Do you want, so my colleagues have to answer this question. Do you want to risk this and give Trump another 4 years? I don't want to risk that.
Do you share that concern, or is that you have 15 seconds? Is the politics irrelevant to you?
I wouldn't say the politics are irrelevant, but they don't support the conclusion that the Democrats should just drag this out. In fact, they should move forward with impeachment hearings because no matter what they do, Donald Trump is going to spike the football. He's going to say he's been vindicated. He's going to say the Democrats are politicizing it. They need to do what the Constitution requires. You saw it last night. 3 of those 5, not Bernie Sanders, but 3 of the 5 who were on town halls or asked about impeachment, they all said as a matter of constitutional conscience, Congress does need to move forward.
We got to go.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Look, it took 22 months for this
Mueller report.
We are going to be, whether we go forward with impeachment or not, we are going to be up against the election by the time we conclude this. So it'll be a question for the Senate. Do you let the people decide in a matter of weeks on their own, or do you vote for impeachment?
We got to go. Ben, thank you very much for your time. Congressman, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, you too, Jim.
Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you.